I dreamed. I was swimming alone at the bottom of a dark sea. I realized I could breathe and thought, this is a dream. Small gold fish moved around me, swaying like grains of light. They multiplied and circled me. I felt they would eat my memories. I tried to escape, but they closed in. Then I woke. I was on the return flight from Santiago. I must have fallen asleep after takeoff. We had cleared the atmosphere. The flight was steady. Unlike the trip out, the cabin was almost full. A man beside me was drinking coffee. I remembered what I had seen in the sea yesterday, a hand holding a cup, a smile, morning light, a white shirt. What had Miharu and I talked about that morning? I had replayed that scene many times, yet the conversation was gone. Maybe it was small talk, weather, plans for the day. He left the room as usual, saying, "See you." I didn't know it would be the last time. 5 years had passed since then. We first met as teenagers, students at the same school. We were never close. He was tall, thin, in several sports clubs. I stayed indoors, reading, drawing, playing music. We had different friends. We had taken one program together, enough to know each other's names. Someone once said his first name sounded like my last name. I remembered that every time I saw him, though I never said it. Years later, we met again by chance. He approached me near the cafeteria of the building where I was interning. We naturally ended up having lunch. "You haven't changed," he said, lifting a spoon of curry. He, on the other hand, had changed. Not his appearance, but his presence. He seemed steadier, more assured. We talked about old classmates and the town where the school was. He remembered that I used to carry a musical instrument. When I mentioned I'd be in the building the same day next week, he said we could meet again if time allowed. One day, during an exam week, he asked if I was free afterward. We arranged dinner. The meeting point was a new complex on the coast. An open-air arcade faced the sea. Shops sold furniture, small goods. He waited in a cafe by the water. No, downstairs. Small hut-like stalls lined the pier. A scanner read our IDs. A robot led us to a back room with a round table and 2 chairs. Soon after the first dish came, the floor trembled. The view slid sideways. Identical huts glided over the water. "Is today special?" I asked. He nodded. When I smiled, he smiled back. A year later, I had graduated and begun work at my current company. We saw each other less. One day at my apartment, he said he might be sent to another planet for 3 months. He noticed the instrument in the corner. "Can I borrow this?" I told him to take good care of it. He left the next week. At first he messaged every day. Then the messages grew shorter, then stopped. His workplace only said he had resigned. There was no answer to why. The instrument never came back. Maybe he still had it. That was fine. A service robot passed through the aisle of my flight. I asked for hot tea. I sipped from the steaming cup and looked out the cabin window. Space stretched outward, dark and without shape.